Hey everybody, welcome back to the second part of the of episode 3. I think it's episode 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Third episode. And we're going to talk about should we just say it? We're going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein.
Again.
We touched on it a little bit last time, but
we're really getting deep into the woods about this one.
It's crazy. Some of the information that I've seen, I've unearthed, I kind of discovered over the last few days of diving into like what exactly is the story of this guy. So, I mean, do you know his like origin story? Like of like how he became to prominence, so to speak, and like how he developed into this. I mean, it was just crazy. He was like a meteor. He just came out of nowhere and he rose and ascended to a position in like world politics, world like culture, where he was with all of the famous people, not some, like everybody of notoriety knew this guy. I mean, he became a permanent fixture almost like on a different level and obviously with a different degree that Trump did, like that Trump currently still is. But I mean, he rose to prominence and he came out of nowhere and he came from nothing. The guy like started out, there's a math science, it's a science school, a mathematics school called the Current School. He's a dropout, it's a college. He went there from 1971 to 74 for like 2.5, almost 3 years. Then the guy drops out. Okay, so
this is Epstein?
Yeah, this is Epstein. And then in 1974, he gets, now mind you, I just told you, the guy drops out of college in a mathematics college program. Then he gets a job as a teacher at this place called the Dalton School.
What?
In 1974. Yeah, no, this is all true. You guys can look this up on your own. It was fascinating. I got lots of different sources, but I kind of tried to piece together the timeline. 1974, Dalton School. Donald Barr, you know who Bill Barr is, right?
Yeah.
AG for not only Bush 2, W. Bush, but Trump as well in Trump's first term. His father was like the master of the school. He's the one that hires Jeffrey Epstein to be a math teacher with no college degree.
What?
Dude, this guy gets to teach math. He didn't even finish college, didn't finish a teaching program of any type. Whether or not, he goes to school and he goes and gets a pool management. I'm going to teach people how to manage their pool, and get a teaching license for pool management. The guy never had a teaching license, so he's in the high school level dealing with students and teaching them mathematics with no degree. This guy, ultimate con artist. If
Douglas Murray, this is why we need to be iffy on trusting the experts.
Exactly, 1000%. So then he leaves there, and he leaves there and he goes to, he's like a broker. He's part of the Bear Stearns. That was a huge brokerage. It was a huge icon on Wall Street at the time. How do you get the job there? You don't have any, there's no record of any type of training or anything. It's just, it's amazing. And he gets into money laundering. He does some money laundering for a high profile.
You're kidding me.
No, this is all 100% documented. That's where he gets his deep connections into not only the deep state, so to speak, his supposed CIA or deep state connections, but that's where they ferment. They ferment there, and the origin story starts there at Bear Stearns. But how he got that job, nobody knows. And then he links up with what's that guy's name? Oh, Leslie Wexner. Who do you know? Does that name sound familiar?
Leslie Wexner?
Wexner.
I think that name might have been mentioned in a 2 to 3 hour podcast that never popped up again. So I probably don't.
Leslie Wexner is a huge conglomerate proprietor, entrepreneur. He's the guy that's responsible for the founding of Victoria's Secret.
What about the founder of
Leslie Wexner? He gets linked up with Leslie Wexner. And Leslie Wexner, within 2 years of meeting Jeffrey Epstein, wait, it's almost surreal.
Like, 2 weeks or 2 years?
2 years. Did I say 2 weeks?
No, I'm just making sure what
2
you
years.
said. I didn't.
Within 2 years,
he
gets to know Les Wexner, gets to know him, and within 2 years, Leslie Wexner gives Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm going to state this because I want to see your reaction, gives him complete power of attorney over his entire estate and all of his bank accounts.
Leslie Wexner got this power by...
No. Leslie Wexner, at that point, you founded Victoria's Secret. You're a major player. He founded the Limited, any of the Abercrombie and Fitch. That's a Leslie Wexner, owned, business brand, so to speak. Leslie Wexner gives Jeffrey Epstein power of attorney over everything, his entire estate. After only knowing him 2 years, how does that happen? What? Tell them that's the look of shock I have when you start unearthing these details. So, that's what happens. So now he's hooked up with major money players. So if you guys want to research, there's a great author, and he's also a podcaster. I don't know the name of his podcast, but great author, and he's a journalist. His name's Nick Bryant. He's probably the foremost authority on Jeffrey Epstein. He can detail everything. He's the one, meaning Nick Bryant, the author, he's the one that broke down the Little Black Book. He's the one that got that from, what was that guy's name? Rodriguez? Alfredo Rodriguez. What a great name that guy is. That was Jeffrey Epstein's house manager of his estates. So he would make sure all the maid servicing was done correctly, done promptly on time, so on and so forth. He's the one that had the Little Black Book that had over the 100 names that everybody really wants. But in the recent report from the Trump administration, they blacked out all the names.
So that was when the first reveal happened? That's
2007 when Jeffrey Epstein gets lambasted.
Well, I'm talking about the list that was blacked out. That was back in March, wasn't it? March and April?
That was just recently when they released the information. Just recently.
Well, no, the first list we got in April, there was a bunch of black lines on the papers.
Correct.
Was that list, or is this a different one that was just released a few weeks ago?
Probably the same list. Yeah.
See, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it's probably the same list of his alleged black book that Nick Bryant, the author, had released in his investigation into the whole Epstein case. I mean, the guy is fascinating. I can listen to that guy for hours, so give him a shout out to the 30 people that are watching this. Go look up Nick Bryant, go look up author Jeffrey Epstein, Google it, go grab his book. I think it's called The F.A.N. Scandal. He's got a couple books out pertaining to the Epstein situation. But I mean, this is where I wanted to start with that Les Wexner, the Victoria's Secret, the Abercrombie, founding, guru. He was kind of a mentor for Jeffrey Epstein. There's an alleged homosexual relationship between those two, and that's the reason why I don't think Wexner wanted that to get out, that he was having a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. So instead of that getting out, that shows you the tendency of Epstein. That's what my gut instinct tells me. I can't be sued for defamation. This opinion's been around, for the last 15 years. That Epstein blackmailed Wexner, and that's how he got power of attorney, or more importantly, the control over Wexner's money. So now he's got major money. Now he goes and gets an aircraft. Now that he has that type of pocketbook to play with, that's when he goes and forms he has the island, he has the different estates, and the famous Jeffrey Epstein Island. Here are some of the names. Did you know? Here, I want to get your take on some of the names that were on the aircraft. And I don't say this like I'm not laughing because the situation is absolutely disgusting and it's unbelievably tragic.
It's almost
because we're talking about child trafficking.
It's almost the equivalent of like the same way you would explain why you laugh at a very bad, dark, humorous joke is you're laughing at like how bad it sounds.
It's insane.
The way you're laughing is not in a comedic way. You're like, I'm laughing because there's no words to describe other than it's heinous what you're finding
chuckling because of what we were just told in the last 2 weeks. This being July 20th, and over the last week in particular,
as we were recording this video.
Yeah, Pam Bondi and the current Trump administration. That's where I find fault, and that's where I want to end up with you in the conversation.
Yeah.
But let's digress for just a second. We'll go back. Here are some of the names that were on the Lolita Express, the aircraft that he bought that has a built-in bed with cameras where you can film group sex on the plane. So, I mean, that's a fact that not a lot of people know. But Bill Clinton, he was the...
Not surprised.
He was on there.
The Clintons were on there multiple times.
Billy was on there all the time. He had like a punch card for a sub shop. I mean, he was on there all day. Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, Larry Summers, he was the dean or professor. He was like a big to-do at Harvard. Dershowitz. I mean, go figure on that. He's a scumbag. Kevin Spacey, David Copperfield.
I think Kevin Spacey came out and admitted there was some more stuff going on. Granted, I don't like Kevin Spacey. I don't get what he did.
They all tried to downplay it. Dershowitz came out and said, "Yeah, I went on there. I went on there with my wife." But if you look at the travel logs, the flight logs, his wife's never on the plane.
Yep.
Is your wife Tatiana? Is your wife Maria? No. No. Yeah, that's Alan Dershowitz, the guy who he wants to make the legal age of consent 14 years old. I reiterate that because I think that guy's a scum. Anyways,
scum indeed.
And unfortunately, that's where it leads us to the path where I want to go. It's not to jump on him and rain a bunch of negativity onto Donald. But let's be honest, he was on there on that Lolita Express the second most times next to Bill Clinton. You had a 15-year relationship with this guy named Jeff Epstein. What is going on? I'm not saying you did anything wrong, but I'm saying birds of a feather, there's something there.
What he's doing right now, saying, point out this and that and this detail, it's no different than what led me to leaving the left and going over to the right for my brief time, as you guys remember from the first episode. From the very first episode of this show, why I left the left and went to the right. Because I started seeing more details where I'm like, you guys are full of crap. You've been lying about this nonstop about the right. Not to say I ever pretend the right was perfect, although I did hold them on a higher pedestal than I ever did before.
No side's perfect, but I'm with you. Yeah.
So what led me to leaving the left for the right is exactly what he's doing, which is leading us from the Trump camp to honestly the Dave Smith camp. The outsider. The outsider grew. We're out in the woods now.
I was already in the middle, and I think you were right middle. But I mean,
center right, right middle.
I'm thinking you're coming with me right back in the middle, registered independent, and I'm almost I feel like a free agent because it's just both sides are full of crap. I mean, it's a lot of crap.
I tell people this every single time. All the left and right do are things that are equally bad, but they're different. So let me give an example. The left pretends that blacks are oppressed equally as they were back in the times of slavery. That's just not true. They have every opportunity in America. I'm not now when I say everyone, I mean everyone of different backgrounds: white, black, Hispanic, Christian, atheist. everyone has equal opportunity. Does that mean that every black person has the same opportunities? Does that mean every white person has the same opportunities? No. But do not pretend that now people make the argument philosophically of we're all slaves because we're slaves of the government or something. You can make that
There's
argument.
some truth to
There's
that.
some truth to that. But
Yeah.
like, but they're not in chains. Nobody here is in chains except for prisoners.
It's a cynical view. That's why me and you don't take that.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you guys lost me there. You guys told me that blacks are oppressed like they were before. You're telling me that men can be women and that men should play in women's sports. And also the kids should be able to transition at 4 years old. You guys lost me there. I'm sorry. And funny how people think, and you know what I've noticed? Who have I been arguing with the last 2 weeks? It's not Democrats that I've been arguing with. Now, I've argued with like one or two people on the left, but regardless
it's
of that,
diehard Trump supporters.
it's diehard Trump supporters. I've been like, you can go down in my comments on Facebook and Twitter. I'm like, I'm fighting with these people.
Yeah.
Because I am no longer supporting that side. Now, here's why I mentioned the black and the transgender stuff and all that. Is the right does the same thing, just not about those people. They're now saying, oh my God, these poor Jewish people and stuff like that. We gotta like just cater to every complaint they have, dude. The Nazis don't have power over the Jews anymore. They are a protected class. Jewish people are very successful in America. Why are we pretending these guys are a victim class? Nobody here is a victim class.
No,
So again, each side of the aisle has different issues that are equally bad with each other, and one's not worse than the other. It's just they're both stupid. They are both stupid. And now, again, this is bringing me to this point of free agent. Like, I'm done with their nonsense. And what happens is, and I'm principled. Again, when I say I'm America first, I'm not Trump America first. I'm not MAGA America first.
No, you're America
I am
first.
America first. I am for prioritizing every American.
Hence, look at this
set. Look at the set. Look at this back here.
It's red, white, and blue.
This
baby.
right here is not a conservative picture.
It's a
nothing
eagle.
here is conservative. Nothing here is liberal. Well, you can argue philosophically it's liberal because that means a free exchange and open discussion.
Correct.
So that's a classical, but neither side holds that because if you say blacks are not suppressed, you're like, you're privileged, you're white, you're racist, and you're a white supremacist.
Correct.
The right, if you say, hey, I don't believe, while I believe Israel has a right to exist, I don't think they should be bombing tens of thousands of innocent civilians, you're called anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
When did defending innocent life be considered anti-Semitic? I'm pro-innocent life of any Democrat thing. I don't care if you're Palestinian or black or white. If you're innocent, I don't believe in you being killed or controlled or enslaved.
Right.
Well, enslaved, control, it's basically the same thing. But this is what leads me to this point, and why I've been arguing with a lot of Trump supporters. They're all trying to say, oh, well, the files were probably burned before Trump took office again. I'm like, so let me just say for a moment, not saying I believe it, but let's say you're correct on that they were burned before. Why did you all promise that you were going to release the files if you knew that was burned? So you're trying to... So either way, you look bad. So if you're lying to us and they're real, you look really bad. But if you're lying to us and saying they were probably burned before then, okay, so what are you really trying to hide from us?
The only way out of this is to tell the truth. And they don't want to do that.
No, because...
Nobody wants to tell the truth.
Do you know what would happen if they told the truth, Fletcher?
Why? Because this goes really deep, which we'll dive a little more into. Well, go ahead.
If the truth were to come out, Victoria's Secret, Hollywood, our powers that be, they would all come crumbling down.
Well,
who are these people covering for? It's people in power, big names.
1,000%.
That if you were to ask them, like, I'm sorry, it's no different than that doctor. And by the way, again, this isn't just shitting on Republicans.
No,
guess
not
what
at
just
all.
happened last week? And I find this equally disgusting. Again, I'm not a partisan here. You know who I hold on the same plaque as someone like the Trump administration? It's the doctor, Joe Biden's doctor, who refused to ever comment on Biden's dementia. He said he won't comment on it. You know why he won't comment on it? Because he knows that the truth is Biden was senile from the start of his presidency.
From the start.
Presidency.
And he went downhill dramatically by the end, evidenced by the debate. But at that point, everybody kind of knew.
Well, we all kind of
the
knew.
The media would not condone.
Well, that's one of the things
truth.
that, honestly, this is something that I should have brought up in the last part of this episode, was I really love, and I've made this joke already, but, I'll just bring this up for the sake of the show, is I love the comparison that Dave made regarding Biden's dementia, which is the equivalent to saying, listen, guys, this was really funny, so I'm taking a little credit to Dave Smith for this joke, is when they said, listen, guys, on screen, Biden looks woozy and everything, but behind the scenes, he's sharp as a tack. It's no different than saying, hey, guys, on camera, Chris Christie is fat as a pig, but behind the scenes, he's shredded.
He's shredded. He looks fantastic. He's jacked. Everybody lost it when he
It's like, and this is why I told people, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If you're going to try to tell me, I'm sorry, regardless, even if after this point, Trump goes down as one of the worst presidents we ever had, and it already is according to some liberals who don't know anything more about it other than, oh, he's a racist, which,
correct,
whatever. Even if he does go down to be one of the worst, no one can tell me that Biden was better than Trump in any way. He didn't even know where he was. He passed no good legislation.
There's always the statement that I go back to.
What's that?
Which is, both things can be right, and there's also the possibility, and this is life, right or wrong.
Yeah.
Both things can be wrong, and in this case, both things can be true. Biden was a terrible president. Trump has only been in office 6 months, but there is some real problems.
There were some good things he started with,
yeah,
but now,
the last couple
but the
months,
last 2
and it
months,
could derail his entire legacy.
I told people, this is going to.
This is not going to go away. The Epstein thing.
This is the ultimate empire collapse. That's going to be heading, because
1,000%.
Trump was voted in this last election on a mandate. I'm telling you this right now. I kind of like this analogy, which is Trump didn't win this last election. The Democrats just lost so terribly, because it's not like Trump was known to be this messiah and everyone likes him and he's the new Ronald Reagan or something. It's because the left sucked with everything, trying to tell us that Biden wasn't demented and that the border is secure, the economy is doing great. Meanwhile, gas prices were $4 a gallon. Meanwhile, my prices of items doubled and tripled in price. In 2024, man, prices doubled. It increased 97%.
Just on the borders. You can't have, it's just common sense.
Actually, I agree.
I don't have to be a presidency. I don't have to be in a presidency or a president or a congressman or anybody in an authoritarian position, government at all. Common sense. If you have a country, you have borders. You can't just let anybody come into the country. You have to vet that person. They have to come in through a process.
I've had people disagree.
You go to get a driver's license, you go to the BMV, you just walk in there and ask, hey, take my picture and just give me that? No, you have to go through a process, right or wrong. Anything in life is like, you want a library card. Don't you have to go through a process? And how is it okay that you could just come into the country and all of a sudden be getting benefits from the country? You're given a credit card, you're given benefits. I'm like, what is going on here? It's insanity.
This is why I told people, this is the comparison I like to make, and I've had my father push back on this one thing, and I'm glad I got more clarification on this. I finally understand now. The comparison I like to make is when people say, I believe in secure borders, but this is okay, or I don't believe in secure borders, we should just open it all the time. I always make this comparison. Now, my dad disagreed with me because he referenced the Supreme Court for this. I understand his argument on this, but I don't agree with it. And that's when I made the comparison of, if you, and I've made this comparison with you, Fletcher, so you own your house.
Yeah.
You own your lawn. If I stepped on your lawn, I'm not in your house, I'm not on your porch, but if I'm on your lawn, if you tell me to get off and I don't get off your lawn, I'm trespassing. If I step on your porch or if I enter your backyard through your gate and you don't want me there, I'm trespassing. If I enter your house illegally, I am trespassing. If I enter your car illegally, I am trespassing. If you enter my country without permission, you are trespassing. And this is the same argument. Another argument I'll make. This is my golden argument: is if you guys believe in open borders, get rid of every lock you have. Get rid of the locks in your car, on your house, and your lockers. Any lockers that you have, like your personal belongings, get rid of your locks, because that means you don't value security. Common sense says, and by the way, this is why I hate both the Democrats and Republicans on this issue. Is the left will say we should have open borders. The right says it should take you 20 years to become an American citizen. It should take you no more than 2 years at most.
At most.
At most.
They can streamline the process. It should take the normal.
Legislation hasn't been changed since 2000.
Like some sort of spicy or kind of negative background. You could get into the country through a year-long process. I don't think 12 months is too long, too short. I mean, roughly that. But
I think the reason why I say
not the
2
case.
years, the reason why I say 2 years is because I think like 1 year to fully establish residency and that you're paying taxes.
It's
then the
kinda
second,
tough.
then
Yeah.
the second year would be like, okay, it may take a year, but we're gonna work on your process. Okay, you're gonna get your Social Security. You're gonna get your right. What is it? What is it? The green card that gives you like the right to vote, and that's when you become. Is that when you become an American? I don't know all the terminology, but isn't the green card like you become an American citizen officially, or is that something else? Is that something
green
else?
card's like a temporary pass.
But what is it
It's
that you
for a
get? Is it
time
like
period.
is it like a certificate or something that you get for being
No,
American?
it's an identification card stating that you're not a legal citizen yet.
But I mean, like once you become an official legal citizen, that's what I mean.
When you become a legal citizen, you get identification that shows that you're a legal citizen.
Right.
Right.
I just thought that there was like a specific.
Look at it like the
terminology.
green card would be like your temporary permit when you go to take your driver's test, go on and so
Okay,
forth,
yeah,
and
that
then your
makes
actual
sense.
citizenship is your driver's license.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I
Kind of in
think
the cadence of how things, go in order. But I mean, your main point was there was no order. You could just hey, you just come in. Like,
or
it's like, wait a minute, what?
they'll come in on
What is going on?
they'll overstay their visas and then nothing was really done about it. And that's actually my problem with the Trump administration is they haven't really been. I don't think they've really been. That their deportations have slowed down. I want more. I want all the illegals that are committing crimes. By the way, that's what I actually agree is people who commit crimes and are criminals, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be here. I'm sorry. But if you're working, you're paying taxes and stuff like that, dude, just grant them legal citizenship already. They're paying their dues. They're contributing to society. There's nothing that needs to be done about this. It's just this.
Agreed.
It's just a whole. This is a whole thing. It's a whole mess with our government, and this is actually why I really don't like government. I'm not an anarchist, but government. The Constitution was made as a warning about government. That's literally what the purpose of the founding fathers making that document. They said this is the danger of big government, and this is a bigger problem I have with the Republicans. Is they claim to be for small government. When was the last time we had a Republican that said, "Yeah, we're going to shrink the size of government"? Reagan?
To a point, but I mean, yeah, that was his ideology, but in practice, not really. He just kind of maintained the size of the government at that time.
Which
He didn't
unfortunately is
change
probably
it.
the best thing anybody's done in a lifetime of our government.
and that was one of Trump's agenda items was to drain the swamp and kind of shrink the government, but that hasn't
But clearly
happened.
he likes the swamp with him covering up this fucking scandal.
Let's go back, perfect timing. Let's go back to, let's just start with current day, because we're going to wrap up pretty soon. We'll probably go for another 5-10 minutes on this particular topic. But let's flash forward February 26th, we established where Epstein came from, his meteoric rise out of nowhere, and with no relevancy and really any validity. That's what's important. The guy became such a prominent figure. I don't know. He must be the best BS artist of all time. He must be the best con man of all time. I mean, it's unreal, really. I don't like the guy, but I mean, the fact that he did what he did in the time period that he did it, it's astronomical. It's crazy that it happened. But flash forward to February 26th, Pam Bondi, she's like, I got the Epstein files on my desk.
Yep.
You know, like we're gonna release it. It's gonna be great. You know,
like the doctor said, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
We're gonna blow the doors. You know, everybody's gonna get the information that
it's gonna be the best reveal ever. Nothing will top it.
Yeah, nothing would top it, right? So then you come to present day, what they just released this past week and a half, where Bondi said, this is the word she used. This is why I want to highlight this, which shows you the chaos of what's going on right now and the misdirection, in my opinion. There's massive misdirection. They're trying to divert everybody away from this.
Nothing to see here, just look over here.
Thinking it's going to go away. It's not going away.
This is the biggest cover-up in American history.
It's one of them, yeah, if not the biggest. We were...
Definitely in the top 5,
We
easily.
were misled and bamboozled. Think your attorney general is using the word bamboozled. We were bamboozled by the New York field office, by the New York State field office. Oh, that's their fault? You're the Attorney General of the U.S., the federal AG. Like, give me a break. That is just in itself.
Well, it's just like
such a nonsense statement.
Well, it's just like when, honestly, this is probably one of my favorite Trump moments of all time, which was back in, I think, June. And that's when Trump said, I'm paraphrasing the beginning, but I love the way it ended, which was the problem with Israel and Iran right now after the first attack.
We have 2 countries.
Yeah, 2 countries who don't know what the fuck they're doing. President Trump's the F.A.N. Then you have an attorney general that goes, we were bamboozled.
I was going to say F. He went right for it. He went for the jugular, ladies and gentlemen. I'm proud of him. He just dropped an F-bomb on the video. I love it.
Hey, it's not for adults, okay?
Here's what
I mean, it's for adults. It's not for kids.
Here's what Bondi had to say. Also, here's the important part of what she stated in the letter, which, by the way, Bongino, Patel, Trump himself, nobody signed that document. I don't know if anybody noticed, but they put out like the statement, but nobody's signature is on the bottom. So nobody wants to own that. Nobody wants to say at a future date, hey, hey, Cash Patel, you signed this statement. Because here's what the statement reads in it. You have to go through it. But here's what it said. It said there was no blackmail material in the Epstein files. And here's my favorite. And Jeffrey Epstein acted alone. Now, if I don't know a whole lot in life, trust me on that when I tell you that. I don't know a whole lot of things. I know that Jeffrey Epstein was not successful in his perverted and very disgusting lifetime of blackmailing people. I mean, that's exactly what happened. But I mean, he did not act alone.
No,
he had accomplice after accomplice after accomplice in this weird.
There's no human on earth that can run this by him or herself.
Of power structure.
Nobody, not even a group of 5 people can do this by themselves.
So, my question to you, because like I say, we'll go a little bit longer on Epstein, and then we'll end it, because I'm sure over the next 2 weeks, for sure, there's going to be more, because the American public is not letting go of this.
No.
They thought there was a major misstep and misjudgment on the Trump's administration's behalf, in part, that the American public would just let go of this, that it would just go away. It's not going to go away. We demand answers. Do you think there's a client list?
100%.
1,000% for me too. And my question not only, I mean, we could do a whole you could do a whole week of podcasts on
just on this
the money angle. When Daryl Cooper spoke with Tucker on his podcast, which I'll give them a shout out. Tucker doesn't need a shout out from people that get 30 views, but I'll say it anyways. One of the best podcasts I've ever seen. It's a top 5 of all time to this point for me personally. I know you didn't get a chance to see it just yet.
Which one?
Daryl Cooper, Tucker Carlson.
It's the second episode, the one that just
aired a week
Oh,
ago.
I haven't watched that one yet, but
It's
I
phenomenal.
haven't even watched their first one, but I really like that Daryl Cooper did start a podcast with Scott Horn, which is probably my one of my top 5 podcasts of all time. They just started a new podcast called Provoked, which unintentionally is based on Scott Horn's book Provoked.
Yeah. I mean, it's another phenomenal podcast. There's another guy you could just talk for hours about. Scott Horton is brilliant. But Tucker and Daryl, like, they dive deep into the Epstein situation, the Epstein case.
Wow.
But the money perspective, Tucker brings to light, which is one of my variables here. Why isn't anybody, like, asking questions in terms of journalists, in terms of investigative governmental agencies, in terms of the money? Because how did Epstein collect all of this? He was a billionaire. You don't have a W-2 for the stuff he was doing. Why isn't anybody investigating that? You go after organized crime, like over the 80s and 90s. That's how they were able to break up the mafia for the most part. You went after their finances. You got them on tax evasion. You got them on RICO counts. Why isn't anybody doing anything about where did all the money that Jeffrey Epstein accumulated, where did it come from? That's not my point, but I mean, it's a major question that people should be asking. The other thing is, where is this video evidence? July of 2019, when they arrest Jeffrey Epstein. The day after, it's not even 24 hours. Here's a key point for all of you that are actually going to watch this. The day after, they bust open the safe. They didn't even wait till like the next day, 24 hours. They went right the next morning. Government agencies, FBI, everybody, they go in, they break open that safe. There's over 1,000 CDs. This is evidenced in Nick Bryant's book. You can find out different books, different information, but this is all public knowledge. This isn't some weirdo in a tan shirt just like going off at the mouth. This is all true fact. There's thousands of tapes, there's thousands of CDs where there are pictures of the CDs where the CD has the name of like, oh, it's Fletch + and say whatever celebrity, and then, you know, the theme.
Yeah.
You know, if the average age of the victims in Epstein's Black Book at the time all of this is going on is 13 years old, aged all the way to age 9 and 10, and all the way to 16, 17. His commerce, his commodity. That's why I love when people are like, well, I mean, there was adults there too, aka Alan Dershowitz. Well, there's adults, and I was just getting a massage in my underwear. Wait a minute, what? No, you didn't.
I'm sorry.
That's a lie.
Wait. Was that him about himself, or Epstein was?
No, because Dershowitz was implicated under testimony. He said he only got massages in his underwear.
I'm sorry. If I'm telling you this right now, if I had come out and said, "Hey guys, I only got massages in my boxers from children," how does that sound?
Episode or part 4 of episode 2, I told you guys I was honest enough about going and trying to get a legitimate massage and a massage therapist, and the lady's hands started to wander. That lady was not a minor. That lady was actually in her 60s, which made the situation even more awkward. But I mean, like literally, I've had that. And Dershowitz is like, you're on the Lolita Express. You're on Epstein's Island. You're not getting a massage from a legit massage therapist that's an adult. You're with little girls. You're a pervert. I don't care.
That's so disgusting.
Sue me for what? Come and take my barn so I can bounce you off of the walls of the
yeah,
barn.
We'll expose your ass to the public.
Unbelievable, sickening. But I mean, they had thousands of CDs.
Can't sue us for defamation. The evidence is out there. Your testimony is out there.
Thousands of CDs with the names on. Where? Why isn't anybody at where? Forget the contact list. Where are these CDs? Where are the pictures that had the handwritten, like Scotch tape?
Where are they, Bondi?
Where are they, Trump? Where are those? Those are all documented as the evidence that was taken out of his house on in July of 2019, the day after he was arrested. Where is that stuff? That's all I'm saying. I'm not making a
this
statement.
Is despicable. It's honestly so despicable that I voted for somebody who is now covering this shit up. It's
why the affiliation? Because Trump had a 15-year French. I'm not saying Trump's automatically guilty. I don't know, but let's be honest. If you want to really read something it's going to be disturbing for you. It was disturbing for me.
If the show isn't disturbing already with this,
everybody with common sense is going to be like alarmed and kind of disgusted. I don't know. I shouldn't use the word kind of. You're going to be disgusted. There's a
no way to sugarcoat it.
This is her fake name, but her name was Katie Johnson, and she came out in the 2007 case when they were prosecuting, and Epstein gets it's unbelievable, his sweetheart of a deal in terms of he gets an agreement with the government where he goes to jail. And it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be 24 months or 18 months minimum. He only does 13 months. But for those 13 months, during the day, he's free to leave the jail. And he only has to sleep in the cell. So while he's quote unquote incarcerated, he's
roaming free.
Now there's factual evidence that while he was supposed to be incarcerated, he was roaming free, and he was trafficking girls still. While he was already prosecuted, convicted, and he does this. It's not even a jail sentence. It was like a vacation. He left the jail every day. He would go and do business deals. He would do whatever he wanted as long as he was back at a certain time. I think it was 8 p.m. And then he had to sleep in the jail cell.
8 p.m.?
Or something like that. 8 or 9, he had to be back. It was just insane. But Katie Johnson was a woman who said, and I brace for impact, she was one of the victims in the case, and she said she was abused by Trump. Now, she has, disappeared. She's alive. I mean, she's not dead. But she kind of went into hiding in the western United States, and no one's heard from her. They had her in a hotel room, when remember the Hillary-Trump debates were going on?
Yes.
They were very heated. Hillary's camp was going to unleash Katie. Remember, Trump was so effective when he brought all of the women that Bill Clinton had, raped and sexually violated to one of the debates. It was monumental. If you go back and watch that, you guys don't know what I'm talking about. But they were going to do the same with Katie Johnson, and Katie Johnson just wanted no part of that.
What?
She didn't want her face. Hillary's camp was going to kind of present her to checkmate on Trump. This is the one who accused you. He's never been convicted. He's still president. I don't know if he did what he did, but she said she was abused by Trump.
Well,
it was corroborated by the girl that brought Katie Johnson into the Jeffrey Epstein ring. Again, read the book, watch Nick Bryant on
There's
Chris
a problem I have with
Hedges'
this analysis,
podcast.
though.
What's that?
So, if Bill Clinton was on that list and visited, and raped people and raped kids or whatever, let me ask you something. If Katie Johnson was allegedly assaulted by Trump and stuff like that, and because of this Epstein stuff, wouldn't that have put Hillary in the equal in that mixture as well? Like, wouldn't she have been equally in trouble?
Those women that Clinton had assaulted or had dealings with, those were already closed cases. Those were already closed cases. Where what was it? I can't remember the names offhand because you kind of caught me off guard with that analogy. Those were closed cases. Trump, all he did was invite those women to sit at the debate, which was a major, major psychological development for the whole debate. Because they're sitting there, Clinton's sitting across. They have every right to be there. Trump was very smart in his strategy. All I'm saying is that Hillary was going to do the same with this Katie Johnson figure.
But she didn't want
that's not her name, but obviously they have to protect her with a fake name. They were going to do the same thing to Donald Trump by bringing Katie Johnson to the public. Katie Johnson, obviously, she wanted no part of that. She didn't want the general public to see her face. She didn't want any of that. So she just kind of went and lived her life, and she was abused. And at that time, she was only 13 years old. So if those are true, it was corroborated by another person that brought Katie Johnson into the Jeffrey Epstein ring of, child trafficking. What they would do is Epstein was very good at this. He would give people $200-300. He would have them comb like the high schools in the Palm Beach area. He would have them comb high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, and develop targets. And he would say to these pimps, who all reported to Ghislaine Maxwell, they would basically, go around and target little girls. And those people, the pimps, meaning the people that were kind of like surveying the area for this young talent, which is just disgusting to say, is they would get paid $200-300 to bring them into Epstein, and then Epstein would lure them in, and before you know it, you're 12-13 years old and you're being trafficked on an airplane to go over to an island and have sex with old men.
This is making me.
It makes you sick
I'm
to your
probably
stomach.
going to lose my dinner after this.
We might have to take another break because I might need to use the bathroom again. But I might.
Why do you keep mentioning to the audience that you gotta go? Keep that on the down low.
I might have to vomit at the same time because this is truly disgusting. But I'm not trying to put Trump in a bad light. What I'm saying is,
when you connect the pieces together, it leads to this.
For 4 years, all they did, meaning the Trump administration, the MAGA world, I'm not saying any of those people are bad people, but you put in a bad light, justifiably so, Joe Biden and everything associated with that. Why? Because all they did was lie to us constantly. Now, flash forward, and this I'll leave the final comment for you. We come to present day. You got Bondi saying we're bamboozled 2.5-3 months after she said she had groundbreaking news to give us. All of the news was already public knowledge. They redacted everything. They crossed out all the names. There's no information. They're trying to protect something. They're trying to hide something. Is it Trump? Is it all of those people? My opinion, it's all of the above. All of those people. Yep. If you have 1,000 CDs with the names on there,
where are they?
Where are they? Where is this information? And I don't care. You said it the best when we talked previously. You said, I don't care if it's one person. And it's not. That's the main thing to remember, which is so disturbing. But
one person is too much.
That person has to go to jail. It's not one person. It's hundreds, if not thousands of people that partook in this child trafficking, just this horrific set of circumstances. You know what that does to a 13-year-old if you violate her for the rest of her life.
She's gonna maintain
You never
that.
get away from that.
It's horrible.
So my big brother's watching. My big brother, when we used to always play, this is going to be a great ending to the segment. This shows you how something will stick with you for the rest of your life. He used to play with me all the time. He's like 10 years older than me, so he was always like the official quarterback when we would play football, and I was the wide receiver. Like, I'd go out, and that's why I was good at sports. My brother, I was a good pitcher. He'd be the catcher. He'd call the pitches, and he would basically practice and train with me. Why am I saying this in relation to Jeffrey Epstein? My brother's probably like this right now. You better go somewhere with this story. No, but I mean, it was so disturbing, and it's still, to this day, I can still remember that he did this like a couple times. He'd send me out, like he'd be like, all right, I want you to run a long hook route, and then I'll throw it to you. Well, he went on the tree lawn of our parents' house, and there was dog shit, and he would wipe dog shit on the football, and he would throw it.
Oh my!
And I'd catch it up here, and there'd be dog shit on my neck. So, like, wait a minute. Like, I can still remember. That's a stupid, like, I'm playing in the street with my brother.
Yeah.
And I can remember there being dog shit on my neck. Can you imagine? Now, let's get serious for a second. I just trying to bring light to a very toxic, very dark subject. Extrapolate that to a 13-year-old girl who's forced to have intercourse and do things to an old man. That's never going to leave you. That's my main point of my shit football story. There's probably I got to go to a psychologist because there's no correlation between those two other than trying to aggravate my big brother who's watching in probably a few hours. But anyway, no, I mean, it's just a terrible subject and they got to come clean. My final comment is the only way out of this, you can't cover it up. The American public will not let go if it involves children. You gotta tell the truth. You just release the info. If you have one CD, you destroyed the others. You have one picture, you have one name. I don't care at that point. You have to disclose the information.
Seriously,
don't
guys.
tell us
Come
that
on.
you were bamboozled, and don't ever tell me that one line really bothered me in that statement to the American public, that there was no blackmail material, and the key statement that is just absolute nonsense, that Jeffrey Epstein acted alone. You're insulting our intelligence.
We're not stupid people.
There's no way that's
There's
true.
a reason why I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm not stupid. I'm not easily brainwashed by your guys' nonsense.
So,
And I'll leave you guys on that.
We'll leave it at
so.
that. I have to go do number one. It's not a number two.
Oh
so
my
that's good.
God, Fletcher!
But we'll be back and we're gonna talk. What are we gonna talk about? Little John Wick action.
I guess we're just gonna be talking about our favorite times of John Wick and stuff.
It'll probably
If
be
you
a
guys-
short video, but it'll be hilarious.
It will be. But it's gonna be John Wick bands. That's what the next segment's gonna be. It's John Wick bands
Because
Our
we
favorite things
didn't
and-
watch a movie we didn't review something for you guys, but we're gonna go off past knowledge, and then next week, maybe. I'm just gonna put him on the spot because he doesn't want to see it, but maybe we do a little Fantastic Four for you. I want to see it because I think it's gonna be bad.
I hate Pedro Pascal though. He's the worst actor in modern history.
We gotta do it. We gotta watch it. It's
I would
2
rather
hours.
go see Superman than that nonsense. That's how bad it
I already
looks.
saw it. Shout out to my boy Richie, my nephew.
Yeah, next
He's
time
doing
you
good. He's gonna be going.
Don't be like, hey, I'm taking you to go see it. You were gonna force me, and then you're like, oh, surprise!
I'll go-
We've already seen Superman.
Well, I mean, it's my boy Richie. So Richie will come
we,
with us.
Hey,
Richie,
we would
Richie
have
will come
gone
us.
with you. Had
It was
told
a
us.
spur of the moment thing. But Richie's
Still
going.
could've told
He's
us.
going to be incurring some serious medical stuff over the next couple of weeks. So if you guys can give him your prayers, and we'll take him to the
Rich.
movie. Yeah, we'll take him to the movie. It'll be fun. Anyways, all right,
See you guys in the next one.
cool.